The Genetics of the Mighty Spirit Bear by me, Finn Broslin. The Mythology of the Spirit Bear. The First Nations people believe that the raven left every 10th bear white to remind us of when the earth was covered in glacier. The spirit bear is considered sacred because the spirit bears were so rare their existence was often kept secret by elders to protect them from overhunting or exploitation from outside traders. Some legends attribute to the spirit bears unusual powers, for example, that they could swim deeply underwater or lead people to magical or spirit places. The spirit bear symbolizes strength, courage, and resilience, often representing a connection to intuition and wisdom. So, what makes these bears so rare? For that, we need to look at genetics. What are genetics? Genetics are the study of heredity, which is how traits are passed down from parents to their offspring through genes. This is a photo of an animal cell. Today we'll be looking at the nucleus, which is where all the genes are stored. Genes. A gene is the basic physical and functional unit of heredity, made up of a specific sequence of DNA. Genes are located on chromosomes and carry instructions for making proteins, which are essential for cell function and determine traits like eye color or a person's height. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is the molecule inside cells that contains the genetic instructions for the development, function, and reproduction of all living organisms. It is a double helix that looks like a twisted ladder, with the sides made of sugar and phosphate molecules and the rungs made of paired chemical bases adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. The specific order of these bases determine the genetic information. Chromosomes are a thread-like structure found in the nucleus of the cell, made of proteins and a single molecule of deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. Chromosomes are composed of tightly coiled DNA wrapped around proteins called histones. This compact structure allows a large amount of genetic information to fit inside the cell's nucleus. Most humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, or 46 in total. Spirit bears have the same number of chromosomes as black bears, which is 74 chromosomes in each body cell. They have 200 trillion cells in their body. Allele. An allele is one of two or more alternative versions of a gene that are found at the same place on a chromosome. Individuals inherit two alleles for each gene, one from each parent, which can be the same or different. These alleles determine a person's traits, such as eye color or blood type, and the combination of alleles a person has is called their genotype. Gene versus allele. A gene is a segment of DNA that codes for a specific trait, while an allele is a specific version of that gene. For example, the gene is for eye color can have different alleles for brown, blue, or green eyes. Punnett square. A Punnett square is a square diagram used to predict the possible genotypes and phenotypes of offspring from a genetic cross between two parents. It works by listing the possible genotypes, alleles, from each parent along the top and side of the table, and then filling in the squares with the combinations of those gametes to show all possible offspring genotypes. In this diagram, parent X is big A, little a, and then on the bottom, parent Y is big A, little a. And then if you look at it, it's basically just timesing the two together. Dominant versus recessive. A dominant allele is a version of a gene that expresses its trait even when only one copy is inherited. A recessive allele is a version of a gene that is only expressed when two copies are inherited, as its effects are masked by the dominant allele if present. When an organism inherits one of each, the dominant trait is the one that appears. Let me explain the diagram to you. The dominant A is the big A, the recessive A is the little a. In order for the recessive trait to be present and for you to be able to see it in an animal or human, there has to be two, which you can see at the bottom of the Punnett square. The spirit bear. Spiritually, the bear symbolizes strength, courage, and resilience, often associated with protection and fierce maternal love. It also represents inner wisdom, intuition, and the need for quiet introspection, much like the bear's hibernation, which involves gathering knowledge and solitude before a period of renewal. The bear is revered as a powerful healer, a protector, and a symbol of great authority. The First People's name for the spirit bear is pronounced Muchkamo. It means white bear in the Tishian language. The scientific name for the spirit bear is Urus americanus kermode. Other name, Kermode, named after Francis Kermode, former director of the Royal BC Museum, who helped describe this subspecies scientifically in the early 1900s. Where spirit bears live. The spirit bear lives mostly in the Great Bear Rainforest. Their population is most concentrated on a few specific islands and mainland areas, including Princess Royal, Gribwell, Roderick, and Puli Islands, as well as the Terrace Ness Hazelton area, North Coast Integrated Management Area. What they eat. Spirit bears eat plants such as berries, nuts, roots, fruits, grasses, and baby deer, and moose. Salmon and carrion, also small insects such as ant brood and others. They feast in the fall during the salmon run. This is a map of where the spirit bears live. Spirit bears facts. The spirit bear is one of the rarest animals in the world. Current population estimates are from 50 to 150 individuals. This elusive animal is only found in a small portion of the Great Bear Rainforest. Kiatsu Traditional Territory is home to the largest proportion of the spirit bear population, and the only spirit bear conservancy. Despite their visibility on land, the white fur provides a hunting advantage during salmon runs. The white fur provides better camouflage against a bright sky, making them less visible to the salmon swimming below. Males can reach up to 225 kilograms or 496 pounds, and females can reach 135 kilograms or 298 pounds, and they can reach up to 180 centimeters tall. Spirit bears are generally solitary animals, with the exception of mothers with their young. They also come together during the mating season, males and females spending several days with each other, and in times of plentiful food, feeding at berry and salmon sites in the summer and autumn. Genetics of the spirit bear. The spirit bear appears white because of a variation in the MC1R gene, which prevents the production of melatonin. Recessive trait gene for white fur is recessive, meaning that the bear inherits one copy from each parent to have a white coat. It is not albinism because spirit bears have dark noses and eyes. In this simplified diagram of a Punnett square, on the first example, black bears with the recessive trait have a 1 out of 4 chance to have a Kermode bear, 25% Kermode bear, 25% black bear, and 50% black bear with the recessive trait. On the second example, one of the parents is a Kermode bear, so it's a 50-50 chance for it to be a Kermode bear or a black bear with the recessive trait. On the last one, they're both Kermode bears, so there's a 100% chance of the baby being a Kermode bear. UBC study. To study the bear's genetics, scientists at the University of British Columbia collected bits of hair that 22 2 white animals and 198 black animals left on trees and small traps in western British Columbia. Using forensic techniques, they isolated DNA for several known pigmentation genes from the samples. They discovered a gene for the melanocortin 1 receptor, MC1R, which tells certain cells to manufacture black and yellow pigments. A single base pair distinguished the gene in the black bears from the gene in the white ones. The change alters the MC1R protein, which stops the production of both pigments and leaves the animals white. Although the white version of the gene is recessive, black bears with one white gene and one black are uncommon. This may indicate that same-colored bears prefer to mate with each other. Kitasu Spirit Bear Conservancy. The Kitasu Spirit Bear Conservancy, a protected area in British Columbia, Canada, established in collaboration with the Kitasu First Nation and BC Parks to conserve the habitat of the spirit bear, a subspecies of black bear. Conservation efforts include protecting ecosystems from logging and hunting, promoting sustainable ecotourism, and ensuring ecological connectivity within the Great Bear Rainforest. The Conservancy, along with the other related protections, is crucial for the survival of the spirit bear and the maintenance of the region's biodiversity and cultural heritage. Any questions? These are all my references, and I highly recommend going to watch The Great Bear Rainforest, narrated by Ryan Reynolds. It is a very good movie, and it's on YouTube, so it's free.